And I don't think anybody's in the room yet to ask me a question, but I received a question earlier from someone who is going to be visiting the stream in about an hour. So let me see if I can find that. And okay, so I have a question of, will my husband and I find a cabin with land this year? So, okay. And actually what I'll do is I'll see if it's this year, and then I'll even see like if I can get a timing on that. So pendulum check. Okay. So highest good, no harm to myself and no harm to others. And so what I'm doing right now is I'm grounding, and I'm also opening up to the energies of the sky, the sun, the moon, the stars, the planets, bringing that into my energy, and the earth energy from up above. And what I'm doing is I'm bringing up the earth energy and then bringing down the sky energy, and I'm having them intermix in my body, redo all of my chakras, clear out everything that I don't need, and then release everything that is no longer necessary, residues, other things, right down my grounding cord, which goes to the center of the earth. It's like, it's just releasing everything so that it transforms into new energy to use for other things that we want to use. Okay. It's like gardening, right? You cast off what you don't need, and then it composts in soil, and then it grows new energy again. So that's how that works. So I'm going to answer my friend's question, and if she pops on, I'll answer it. But since I have a question right now, so am I centered in the highest good with no harm to myself and no harm to others? Okay, I'm centered right now. And I will tell you, I keep a lot of shungite, black tourmalines, all kinds of stuff around me, selenite, other things. Pink Pearl Fairy, excellent. Oh, thank you. Wow, I just noticed you were on. I would like to know if I will get to be with my twin flame, and if possible, an idea of when I will meet him. Hi. Okay, I'll get to yours in a minute. I'm answering a different question that I didn't get on the chat yet because it's a dear friend of mine, but she'll be on the chat in about an hour. And so I'm seeing if I can get her question answered first. So I'm in the highest good. So when will she and her husband buy a cabin with land? That's the question. So this is days. Okay. Days, weeks, months, years. Okay. So I'm going to have my pendulum swing. Okay. It says months. Okay. How many months for my friend? Okay, I get that it's 5 months. So, Julie, when you pop on, 5 months, okay? You may pop on in an hour, and I'll remember that. So I gotta, you know what? I'm just gonna keep my little pad here. This is like, this isn't a, it just has a battery and just that I can write on it. So, Julie, okay, 5 months. Okay. So that way I remember to tell her. Glennie, oh, hey, how are you doing? I remembered answering your question on the last live stream. Excellent. So Pink Pearl Fairy asks, what will she get to be with her twin flame? Now, okay, so okay, how twin flame energy works sometimes is sometimes we are working with our twin flame energy, we just are not necessarily working with them when we're in physical human bodies, like in other words, like together. Okay, so so I'm going to word that as, will you get to know your twin flame as a human, like in 3D real life, as a partnership, meaning a marriage partnership, and with romance and all of those types of things, life partner. Okay, that's what I'm going to ask first. Okay, will she be working with her twin flame as a life partner in a relationship in human bodies and in 3D. Okay, and it's not saying yes and it's not saying no. So that what that tells me is that either you or he has to make that decision about something. There's something going on, or I'm not allowed to see it. So that might be part of it. Um, so is it possible to get an idea of when you will meet? Okay. Now, before we get to the meeting part, I need to see if there is this question that I had earlier and it's not answering me. I need to know why it's not answering me before I can go to that one. So, okay. Am I allowed to find timing for Pink Pearl Fairy and her twin flame to meet in human bodies in real life? Okay. Let me ask this. Is Pink Pearl Fairy already working with her twin flame energy in the other world, like in other realms, other energetic planes? Yes. Okay, you're already connected to a twin flame energy in other planes. Okay, so I do want to let you know that. So that said, yes. Whether you are going to be meeting in a physical um like, and not only in the physical but also as a life partner. Okay, so we're talking about a lot of moving parts here. Okay, some people's twin flames are not their partners, they're life partners. Some people's twin flames are like their best friend, or and a lot of people never even really meet their twin flame because they're doing totally different work, but like energetically it comes back to that same core. So it's only a recent phenomenon to me that twin flames have been working in a life partnership. And I think that it's because it's such a high vibration that it's really hard to sustain on the planet when the planet was where it was at for a long time. But as we know, the earth energies are starting to vibrate higher, higher, higher. We see that with the Schumann resonance. So it's more and more possible now for twin flame energy to work together in a lifetime, marriage partnership. So Pink Pearl Fairy wishes to know if she will work with her. Okay, I keep getting that there's some kind of either a choice point or something like that. So is the choice Pink Pearl Fairy's choice? No. Okay, is the choice her twin's choice? Okay, yes. Okay. Will we know what that choice is at some point in the like, meaning future from this point of time right now? Okay, can I pendulum that for her? It says yes. So the choice point. So he's still making up his mind apparently whether he wants to do the work together, and because there has to be a lot of moving parts for this to come together. Okay, so let me just see here. Is the twin already in a human form to okay, all right. So the way that you work with your twin right now is that that he is not in a particular human yet, like, meaning that woken up that human and then vibrating with that twin within that human. Okay, so it's a matter of a choice of that. So when will that choice point happen for, like, for if he decides to do the human thing and then he decides to activate a human that is actually good for Pink Pearl Fairy for a life partnership, when will that when is the earliest window for that to happen? Days, weeks, months, or years? I get months. Okay, and how many months? I get 3 months is the earliest. Okay, and for the latest time I get for that, is that months or years? years. Okay. And that could be, okay, that could be about 1 to 1.5 years. Okay. So the window of time being, and then how many, is there more than one choice point on this? Yes. There is how many choice points during this time period? It says 2 choice points. Okay. And what that might mean, okay, because your twin is not yet activating into a human, I think that what it is that you need to possibly maybe even meet the human first and then see how that works. And then the twin energy activate that human, okay, before, like maybe it's after you guys meet. I'm not really sure how this works. Pink Pearl Fairy says, okay, I have given up anyhow. I am looking for my life partner, and several years ago had contact with someone that I was very close to in a past life, but I haven't had a visitation or a vision of them in years. Okay, so with past life partnership, that doesn't necessarily mean that they were twin flame energy. Okay, that could mean that it was a soul mate energy, like either coming back to, reconnect. Sometimes our soul mates are, that they're kind of karmic lessons and things like that. Sometimes it's just a touch point that says, hey, how you doing? We're on the same path. And oh, Pink Pearl Fairy says, well, I'm almost 63. I just turned 58. So, and I've been alone a long time. So I do hope that they will make that choice. I would like to have a partner for the rest of my life. Okay. Actually, whether a twin flame energy comes through your life partner or not, how about like we leave the twin flame energy out of the question because you're already working with that energy, and then just let's ask for your life partner, a well-matched life partner. Okay, is that okay? Can I do that? Can Pink Pearl Fairy have her life partner come in regardless of the twin flame energy? And I get a yes on that. Okay. Is the timing the same as the twin flame timing that we timed earlier? It says no. Okay. When is the earliest window for a life partner, regardless of the twin energy? Days, weeks, months, years, weeks. Okay. How many weeks? Okay. I get 2 weeks is your earliest. Let's see. That would be, when Venus is, okay, Venus will be out of retrograde at that point. And we'll probably have a new moon around that time period too. Okay, so take a look around the new moon for February, which I'm going to look in my calendar here and get the day for that. And also we have Mercury retrograde, so do keep that in mind. But the new moon is on January 31st, so okay, yeah, wait till at least February 1st. Okay, when does Mercury go direct again? I forget. It's pretty soon. Mercury direct is on February 3rd. So like after February 3rd, take a look at that. That'll be your earliest entry. And then how many choice points is there for entry? Okay, I get 4 choice points. Okay. And then for the last choice point, let's see when that is. Is that days, weeks, months, or years? It says years. Okay, so I mean, and I get that some of the other choice points are in between. Okay, so years for the last choice point. And how many years is that? Now that's right around the same amount of time. So that's about 1 to 1.5 years. Okay, as the twin flame energy thing that I asked about earlier. So there's some things that need to be chosen with that for you. And the earliest timing being February 3rd. If you are okay with working with your twin flame in the energetic and then having a life partner in the 3D, then, maybe that's how it's supposed to work. If you are not insistent on it being a twin flame that is working as a life partner, because I'm going to tell you that that's pretty rare. Okay. I know that there's this, a lot of people, I don't think, really understand what the definition of twin flame is. They actually think that there's a lot of soulmate quality. They think that it's a romantic quality. They think that it's like all of these things, and really, actually, it's not those things. It's actually, working at a job in the spiritual realm. It's very, very, it's not like all that everybody thinks that it is. Okay. um it is wonderful if it can work that way, but it's pretty rare. I just want to tell you that from my experience, people that tell me that they're with their twin, I mean, I can kind of look at it and say, oh no, that's your life partner and it's wonderful and it's beautiful, but that's not your twin. You're actually doing some other stuff with a twin that you may not even really know or understand. So I wish for you a well-matched life partner, regardless of how you work with your twin flame energy. Okay, Pink Pearl Fairy. Thank you. Okay, that sounds great. Awesome. Okay. I'm going to check out, let's see. Gleneef has a question that says, hello, Lisa. I'm overworked, always tired, started working out, and I wanted to know what if I will succeed in losing the weight. I also want to know about love. When will I meet my life partner? Okay. Now, I will tell you, during Venus retrograde, it's not going to happen. Okay. Venus retrograde is for releasing old patterns, old relationships, but it's not really for bringing in new relationships. Okay. We end Venus retrograde at the end of January. And then because the full moon is around that time also, and then we have Mercury going direct, I'm going to say February 3rd at the very earliest of like the energies opening for a new relationship. Okay. And even then, like around Valentine's Day, we're going to have like an aspect where Venus is going to once again join Pluto. Hi, Lauren. I'll get to you in a second. So I'm answering Gleneef's question first. So, okay. On your okay, Gleneef, are you only working out or are you doing dietary? Because what I'm getting is that about how much a percentage of it. Okay, so Gleneef, this is important for you to know. So I get that about 90% of your weight isn't actually like a weight problem so much as it is an inflammation problem. Okay, I had that problem also. Now, my situation was different, maybe. I was menopausal and I gained about like 50 pounds without even trying, and it was a couple years later, and I didn't change my diet or anything, and I mean, I'd been thin my entire life. Okay, and I didn't understand what was happening to me. It turns out that, I mean, I went and tried to become an herbalist. I did all of this stuff, and those things I was supposed to do, but I will tell you that once I learned that for my body, I could not eat grains, which is anything in the grass family. So no wheat, no corn, no oats, no rice, no anything grain. Okay. No legumes. So that means no beans. Okay. No soy, no peanuts, no cashews. Okay. No green beans even. And no sugars. Okay. So when I learned that I cannot eat those things without having inflammation, what was happening was I was eating all those things thinking they were good for me, and they were organic, and they were, like some of them were fermented, and, I know how to do my food, right? Because I'm a trained herbalist, but it was so hard on my system and I had to eliminate all of it. So luckily I can eat tree nuts. So, I can have almond flour, I can have coconut flour, I can have cassava, I can eat root vegetables also. So I can have cassava flour. Okay. And tapioca is related to that. Although, I guess that, everybody is different about what they can have and what they can't have. What you need to do, Gleneef, is find out what your inflammation food causes are. And then, does Gleneef have leaky gut like I did? Okay, no. Okay, so it's just inflammation. So you need to like whatever your inflammation is. Now with me, I had to go on a diet that I started 4 years ago, but I already like I mean, I lost like 30 of the 50 pounds in the first month of my diet because it was literally inflammation. And then some of it was just residual of, some other things that I was dealing with, emotional energies and things like that, because I was going through a breakup like after that. And so I literally got back to my weight that I was. Okay, like I mean, yeah. So I will tell you that you need to handle your inflammation issue. It's not like a calorie, it's not like that. Okay. So, okay, go to the nutritionist and find out what your particular trigger is. So, there are nutritionists out there that say, oh, this causes inflammation for everybody. Okay. That's not what you need. You need somebody that will actually see, okay, is dairy one of your triggers? Is, potatoes one of your triggers? Is wheat. Wheat is a trigger for a lot of people because of not only the GMO, but the glyphosate poisoning that they do on everything. They spray it with Roundup before they harvest it. Okay. So we are eating glyphosate, okay, which by the way, totally tears up our gut lining, okay, and totally destroys all of our gut flora, and then we wonder why we have hormone problems and all of these things. Okay, I thought I had a hormone problem for a really long time. It was not a hormone problem, it was a leaky gut problem. Okay, once I was handling that, um and my hair grew back. Like, I stopped having headaches. My bladder improved immediately. Like, so many things happened. Okay, like when I figured out what my inflammation foods are. You I hope that you can find that out. So let me see, is she going to the right nutritionist to help her with her inflammation? It says yes, you are. Okay, good. That's helpful. Okay, I think that you will solve your problem with your weight when you find what your foods are, and then you need to follow whatever that is. So don't, like, I mean, sometimes I guess you can have some bandwidth because like, we have a life, right? So if you can stay on your diet about 92 to 95%, you'll have results. Okay. And um and then for the love partner, for can I ask when Glenife's love partner is coming in? Okay, it's not telling me that I have permission right now, but maybe what it is that part of it, A, Venus retrograde. Okay, so ask me after the 3rd, okay, of February. And B, maybe you need to handle this other thing first. Like, maybe that's like just something that, and by the way, I'm going to be coming on all the time, okay, to do questions for timing. So you can ask me again, okay? Is that all right? Okay, good advice. Thank you. Excellent. Okay. Pink Pearl Fairy says, this is interesting because I gained 15 pounds and 6 inches on my waist last year and I cannot get rid of any of it. It was so bizarre. Okay, is it energetic or is it inflammation? It's inflammation for you too, Pink Pearl Fairy. And again, you need to find out what your inflammatory foods are. They might be different than mine, although I do understand that a lot of people are allergic to all grains and all legumes. Okay. And maybe I'll do a video about like some of the things that I eat instead, because I've been on this diet for years now. That is awesome to know. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So Lily is on. So let me scroll back up. And and Lauren also. So Lauren was first. Wait, I take it back. I see Kay was on first. Wow, I didn't even okay. Wow, some of these people sneak in. Hi Kay, how are you doing? Um I have a project that I will be starting. In fact, you know what? I forgot I can highlight these. Okay, I have a project that I will be starting soon, and I would like to know when I will get the desired end result of that project, and will it take too long? Well, I don't know what too long means, but what I can do is see if I can get you a time period on your project. Manifestation, the desired end result of the project, 4K. Days, weeks, months, years. Weeks. How many weeks? Okay, it's a really strong 4 weeks. Is that too long? Is that too long, Kay? And I'll check in here in a moment. Meanwhile, I'm going to scroll down to Lauren. And Lauren says, hey, and hey, girl, actually, I want to talk to you about some website stuff. I know that I just updated my website recently with my photos, but I'm actually thinking about leaving the WordPress platform and transferring it to my sales funnel program of Convertry, which has their own back end thing. And it's actually pretty easy to use, but I might need some assistance in doing that. So I was actually going to talk to you about that. Can you tell me when I will be moving back to Virginia? I think it'll be 3 to 6 months from my own divination, but I would like a closer estimate. I got you covered. When will Lauren be moving back to Virginia? Days, weeks, months, years. Weeks. How many weeks? Okay, wow, that's saying 3 weeks. Let me just double check, because you say 3 to 6 months. This says 3 weeks. So let me check this. Is it weeks or is it months? It says weeks. Okay. My only feeling is that maybe an opportunity is going to come in really quickly that you didn't expect. So my advice for you, Lauren, is to prepare to move as if you were moving in 3 weeks, so that you are, because I know you're a Taurus and you need some time to get, some of your stuff done. So you might have a way to move faster, but prepare now as much as you can. Okay. Because I'm getting 3 weeks and it's strong. Okay. So there's something coming in that's an opportunity for you. Is that too soon for you? Do you think you can handle it? And let me go down here. Okay. Lily. Hi, Lily. How are you doing? This is Leela from last week. Okay, I go by Lily. I empathed your illness. Yeah, the asthma. Okay, thank you so much for your advice. Did I make the right choice about individual? And so when do I contact? Oh, okay. Did she make the right choice about the individual? Yes. And if so, when do I contact? So up to you. I will tell you, though, that communications, etc., will go smoother after February 3rd, because Venus will be out of retrograde. Mercury, the planet of communication, will be out of retrograde. So we're talking relationship planet and communication planet out of retrograde by February 3rd. So that's my intuition, but I'll ask about when you should communicate. Should it be any earlier than February 3rd? Okay, the pendulum says no. So February 3rd-ish, okay, for like, and I'm just going to let that be organic, but put February 3rd on your calendar, okay? I hope that works for you, Lily. And I hope that some of the, like Ignacia and some of the other things that I gave you for advice, I hope that's helping you. Okay. Let me scroll down. And Gleneve says, yes, I would like to know what to eat. Yes, it is so imperative right now. And part of what's happening is that many of us are waking up, energetically. So we're not only feeding our physical body, we're feeding our spiritual body too. And it's all interrelated, and we're finding out a lot of things. And also we're finding out a lot of messed up things that they're doing with our food supply. Okay. So things that our ancestors ate, with no problems, are not things that we can eat. Okay. It's just the way it is. And I'm sorry about that, but we probably have to redo every cookbook in the world, it seems like, as long as they're going to be poisoning our food. So, okay. And Okay, so Kay says that's actually fast. That's brilliant. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you. Okay. And Lauren says, and that sounds good. And she'll DM me about my site. And wow, it's quick. I know, right? So something is coming in that you probably just are not aware of in your energy field right now. Because that's what it, when I got 3 weeks very, very clear. Like it was, it wasn't like a question mark. Like it wasn't like wishy-washy. It really felt strong. So I feel like you just don't know about that opportunity yet, but it's on its way. Okay. And let's see here. And you'll prepare. Okay. I know it's hard for Taurus, isn't it? Like, whoops, you got to change the direction. So be gentle with yourself, but change your direction. And then as you get into it, you'll feel into it. This is great. Okay. And Lila says, thank you so much. Yes, it worked. I am almost healed. Thank you. You are amazing. I just only recommended a couple of things. So, but I do think that there are a lot of healing qualities in flower essences and in homeopathy. And I just got a real clear read on what you needed because I was feeling grief for you and it was coming through my throat. So yeah. Excellent. Okay. So I think I'm caught up with the reading so far. And I did my friend's reading earlier. And so and my friend is coming on in about, I'm looking at what time it is. She's coming on in about 20 minutes. So I'm going to hang out with you guys. And if you guys have questions, I'm going to, I'll be looking in the chat still. But I wanted to tell some of the newcomers how I do this. If they've never watched my my debut video, which I have linked in the comments. But what I do is when I read timing, so one of the things is that timing is hard for most psychic people to read because they're reading from a place of where no time is. There's no past, there's no present, there's no future. It's all one. And it's all present and it's all like forever in every direction. So it's really hard to see how that translates into the third dimension where we definitely experience time here. And time is kind of like weather, like it can be influenced by things. So when I predict timing for you guys, that's if there's no interruptions in the energy when it comes in. Okay. So that means like if no other systems, right, come in energetically to do anything, it has a trajectory of getting right to you. So for instance, like with Lauren earlier, okay, she was thinking 3 to 6 months, but something's coming in 3 weeks. So there's an interruption in the energy, obviously. Okay. And well, either that or she thought that it was months when it was really weeks. Okay. Like, because that can happen too. Like when you don't understand what the unit of time is, because maybe you can get clear on the number, but not the units. And we kind of need both of those when we're doing timing, because 3 months and 3 weeks is very different, right? In our experience, 3 days, 3 years, very different. Okay. To spirit's like 3 days, 3 years. We don't care. Okay, but that makes a big difference for us. So we have to be very clear about what the unit of time is and then the number of those units in the time. And so that's why I do days, weeks, months, years first. Or if it's like something that is like seconds and minutes and hours, or, and I can do that. Or if it's something that's like, decades, centuries, millennia, like it's like that too. Like I can do all of those. But days, weeks, months, years covers like about 90% of my timing work. Okay. And what I do is I concentrate on the band, if you will, that is between the spiritual, where most people get their information, and the 3D. So I concentrate in the middle of that. And that is where I kind of read my energy from. And then it just comes through my body. Okay. And I read it with this. Okay. So this is not causing it. Okay. It's not the pendulum. It's literally what is coming through. And that's how I read it. But I have to be grounded in the earth energy as well as the sky energy and the stars and the sun and the moon. So that's how I do that. And I wanted to let you know about that. And then, so I also had a question the other day about, do I do readings still? Yes. I still do readings, and my calendar for January is pretty full. I just want to tell you guys. And then, because I started also live streaming for the timing readings, because what I'm trying to build for my clients who are, using timing and using it like for psychic purposes, because they already know what's going to happen, but they don't know when. Okay. I'm trying to make a service that they can use me all the time for their timing, but yet not have to pay a lot of money for me, because that was costing them a lot of money. And I was like, oh man, that really sucks. But like, how do we do this? And then I had this great idea that I would just batch everybody together and just handle it on Patreon. Okay. And so, oh, Manhattan Mermaid, Lisa's readings are amazing. Thank you so much. Yes, and actually Manhattan Mermaid recently got an astrology reading from me. So I still do astrology readings. I still do tarot. I still do dowsing, okay? And I am a trained herbalist, as well as I have done energy work in the past. I'm a Reiki master. But I do my own kind of energy healing now. I do. There are times that I've cut cords. I've removed entities. I even did one exorcism. Not recommended unless you are doing some psychological or therapy type of training, because I want to make sure that when a person has that absence of that energy, that something else doesn't fill that space and make it a problem. Okay. And even then I had help to make sure that I was okay with the exorcism. I had another person helping me with that. And on the energy, just to let you know, so later on, I'm going to be featuring some energy healers on my channel. Okay. I want you guys to get to know them, because energy work helps your timing. I'm not kidding. Okay. We have seen already examples in the chat. Okay. And in the prior videos that I have a master replay list. Okay. Of where we changed timing when we healed an issue, and it literally changed timing. So I can do that really quickly on the channel sometimes, but if you need deeper work that really, really changes a deep level of your energy, I'm going to be interviewing Adriana Ellerina Aldemar, who is just absolutely dear to me. She is like lifeblood to me. Okay. We are very, very close, and we've been working together for about a decade, and she's been in corporate, doing like a 9 to 5, right? And she is recently transitioning into doing her actual work that she does on the planet. She is amazing. Okay. I'm not even gonna she's amazing. And I've already referred her to some other people that I know, and they're having great results. And I'm going to have her on the channel one day. So some of you that are interested in changing your timing to make it better or make it more working for you, you might want to hire her, because she goes deeper than I can. Okay. I can do a lot of stuff, but Adriana Ellerina sees things that I'm not able to see. Okay. Because her talents are different than mine, and she's extremely tapped in, and she has extremely excellent energetic boundaries. And she really helps you with that. Rosa, hi. And you can ask a question, and I'm going to look through the comments to make sure that I didn't get any more questions. But I was explaining, how I do readings. So I douse with the pendulum timing, and then I end up reverse engineering it sometimes through astrology, just to know what's going on. And then I use, tarot cards, and I'm just going to pull a card right now. Oh, look at that, the Chariot. So guys, get moving forward on whatever it is that you want to do, right? So that's what this card's about. Okay, so sometimes I do tarot readings because the tarot actually is more helpful for circumstantial timing, like meaning it'll happen when you learn something or when you let go of something, instead of like it'll happen in 3 months or 2 days or 3 years or 5 weeks or something like that. Okay, so it's a different way of timing. And last week I shared that PDF for tarot card timing. Do you guys want me to share it in the live comments again? And you guys can say yes if you didn't get it, and I'll be happy to put it in there. Meanwhile, let me see here. Okay, Pink Pearl Perry says, is it possible to do a video or just a Q&A on how inflammation causes weight gain? I've never heard of anything like this. You know what? I'm a master herbalist, but I am not qualified to go into that. What we can maybe do though is either find a guest, or we can find other places online that talk about the relationship between inflammation and weight gain. But what I can tell you is this, at least with my body, I was feeling that like there was water going to the places where it's inflamed. So fire, right? That's inflammation. Fire, water is trying to put out the flame. So do you see how it could put, like, that's what I'm thinking about. But I don't know the actual anatomy or body mechanics behind that. So I would be the wrong person to ask. Okay. But I do think that is part of it. Okay. And they are messing with our food supply. Okay. So things that we were eating for decades before, they're not safe to eat now. Okay. And sometimes they were never really safe, but our body dealt with it. And then it just said, okay, I can't do this anymore because now it's really changed and we can't do this anymore. So it's something like that. Okay. Lily or Lila says, you did mention despair as the cause. So I did a ceremony to release as well as your recommendation. Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Oh, what a beautiful timing to do this during Venus in the underworld. So Venus is going to be a morning star here pretty soon, right before the full moon. So if you guys are feeling like really tired, really like, just, I have to, like rest, a lot of it might be because Venus is under the horizon right now. And she'll be popping out in the morning sky, and she'll be pretty energized when she's over in the morning sky. So give it a couple more days. Okay. You might be able to find online, like astronomy sites might tell you when Venus appears in the morning sky. So you can like look at when does Venus appear in the morning sky and find out the date. Okay. So Google is your friend sometimes. Okay. Yeah. And thank you so much, Manhattan Mermaid. So nice. Okay, so Lauren says, yes, I got 3 pretty hard, but it's really good to know that it's not months, so I don't get smacked with a couple weeks. Yeah, exactly, right? So maybe one of the lessons that I need to do, because what's happening with you is really common, where you get the number but not the units. So maybe I need to do some kind of like mini class on one of my lives right now about how to get the units of time. Okay, so maybe I need to do that at some point. Okay, and teach you guys like how to do that. Okay. And Manhattan Mermaid, you did it for me. Yes, we were in a consultation and I asked permission to see like what would happen, and yeah, it let me. So that's why I did it for you. So it doesn't happen for everybody. I just want to tell you that. Okay. And so, I mean, I'm a master herbalist, but there's things that I can resonate with people, and Manhattan Mermaid, we had a lot of energy in common. And I think that's why I was able to tune in on like what was going on with you. And even though it's a little bit different, you have a lot of similarities to me. So I think that's why I was able to help. But that story doesn't like translate to every human, okay, or every woman at least, okay. So I appreciate that. Okay. Rosa, in case you didn't ask yet, go ahead and ask, okay. uh okay. Okay, Kaya says, "Hi, how long will it take to develop the connection with the Capricorn?" Okay, and by the way, Venus is retrograde in Capricorn. Probably a good idea to just automatically like mark February 3rd. Okay. It could be during this time that there is exploration, but as far as like a solid connection, my feeling is February 3rd or after. But let's see what the timing is. Days, weeks, months, years. Okay. Saying weeks. How many weeks? Okay, I get about 4 weeks from now. So, around Valentine's Day. Okay. By the way, I think that there's a full moon because we have, okay, so we have a full moon January 17th. Okay, let me see when the full moon is next month. Okay, February 16th. So I'm getting somewhere around the February 14th, 16th, somewhere through there, Kaya. I hope that that helps you. And it'll be after the retrogrades are over. So, okay. So mark that around mid-February and when the moon is full and or Valentine's Day, something like that. Okay. Okay. Rosa says, could you see when a job opportunity comes toward me this quote spring/summer unquote, so that I can leave my teaching job this semester? So it's a particular window that you would need it in. Is that what that's about? And okay. So let me just ask the question as you word it. When will a job opportunity arrive for Rosa so that she is allowed to leave her teaching job this semester? Is it days, weeks, months, or years? It says months. Okay, how many months? I got 2 months, and that's a pretty solid feeling on that. This is the middle of January, so mid-February, mid-March. Does mid-March would be spring. Okay, so maybe around the equinox, right? So equinox energy changes a lot of things, and I noticed that this year it's pretty strong. Okay, so around March 21st. Also, March 18th is the full moon. Okay, spring equinox is March 20th. So like look at that weekend around March 18th, 19th, 20th, like around that time period. Okay. Okay, could you see when I highlighted that already. Maybe it posted twice. Okay. Sorry about that. It looks like it posted twice. I apologize. I hope that that will work. Oh, she says awesome. Great. Okay. Okay, I understand. How did you find out what was causing it for you? Did you muscle testing? I do muscle testing, but it's harder when I don't know. Okay, so how dowsing works. So dowsing works really, really well for me, but sometimes I don't know the right questions to ask. So I did ask, hey, am I allergic to wheat? Yes. Okay. So I eliminated wheat. Well, I still had inflammation. So I'm like, okay, now what? Eliminate dairy, eliminate that, you read all of these things, eliminate this, eliminate that. Well, it turns out that dairy isn't as inflammatory for me. So, I mean, I can't have a lot of it, but it's not as inflammatory for me as wheat. Okay. Wheat is probably like the most inflammatory thing that I was eating. But even rice is inflammatory. Oats are inflammatory. Beans are inflammatory. Corn is inflammatory. So I've had to change my diet a lot. And I mean, I was just thrilled the other day when I was in Trader Joe's and I found quinoa, and cassava flour and potato starch, tortillas. I'm over the moon about this. Okay. Because I recently got to eat quinoa. Okay. Because even when I first started my diet, quinoa was going to be too strong and cause inflammation for me. But because I've been on my diet for a little while, and I've also done a supplement of collagen peptides, which is the vital proteins that you find in Costco, but you can also find collagen peptides in other forms. I needed the ones that are type 1 and type 3, okay, for the collagen, and it works fine. Okay, so I didn't need the whole wide spectrum. I just needed the ones that were basic collagen peptides, and it works great. So, and Manhattan Mermaid is right when she says sugar is inflammatory. Okay. So Rosa says, awesome. Will do. Thank you. And yes, sugar is inflammatory. Okay. So the muscle testing, you have to know what questions that you have to ask. So I did eventually get help by hiring a medical intuitive who is a dear friend to me. And at this time, I don't think she's taking clients, meaning new clients. So if she does, though, I will be happy to, share that information. Okay. Love Tea Green says, hey, man, I know how long before R communicates with me. May I know how, okay, R. Okay. So that's a person. That's fine. Communicates with her. Okay. Love Tea. Okay. How long before R communicates? Days, weeks, months, years. We got days. Okay, how many days? Okay, I get 4 days from now and 4 days from now. So this is the 11th. Okay, I know my calendar looks like a disaster, but I write everything here. Okay, 4 days. 1, 2, 3, 4. So Saturday, and it looks like the moon will enter Cancer by then. And let me see what else is going on. It's trining Jupiter in Pisces, so that's a good day. Yeah, it'll enter Cancer by that morning. So sometime during Saturday is what it says. Okay, I hope that works for you. Okay. And Lily says, when does Spirit want me to launch my healing with our course? I'm guessing that you mean launch. Is that correct? Oh, fast. Oh, good. Okay. Now, keep in mind, Love Tea, Venus is retrograde. Mercury will be retrograde, okay, in a few days. Okay. It's actually going retrograde Friday. Okay. So even it'll be retrograde. So there is communications that need to be rehashed or re-understood or work it out. So do be cautious with your communications. And my recommendation for when Mercury retrograde is happening is be present. Don't jump to the future. Don't, live in a different place, because that's when things screw up. Be very present. And if you don't understand, or you think you understand, but you want to make sure, repeat back what you heard and say, I think I understand you. Did you say, and then repeat it back. Okay. That's my advice for you for that. Okay. Love Tea says, thank you. Awesome. Okay. Lily, so let me get when you're going to launch your course. Okay. When is her ideal time to launch her course? Days, weeks, months, years. Launch course, weeks. How many weeks? Okay. I get 5 weeks. Okay. So that would be like around February. Okay. Like when the sun shifts into Pisces. Okay. Oh, and then Jupiter's in Pisces. So, maybe I guess that your course does it have to do with, healing? Okay. That's why you're okay. That's why. Do it in 5 weeks at the beginning of February, or I'm sorry, the beginning of Pisces, which is actually around the 19th, 20th, 21st of February, around that time period. Okay, maybe it'll be 222. Everybody is like really freaking out about that, because of the numerology and stuff like that. So it's like, but lots of people are going to be doing it on 222. So I would do it before that. Okay. Okay, I've already done that question. Okay, so I guess that it's doing it twice for some people. Okay. Pink Pearl Fairy says, "Okay, I am mostly sugar-free but not totally." That was me too. I was doing at the time I was, eating still some fruit. I was doing raw honey. I was doing pure maple syrup because, all of those kinds of things, still having inflammation. So I had to eliminate all tropical fruit, all melons, all like everything except berries, lemons, and limes. Okay, for the fruit part. I also had to eliminate the honey and the maple syrup and some of those things, but I was able to do stevia and monk fruit and a small amount of coconut sugar. So I will tell you that I had to do that for that. Now I will just try muscle testing and eliminate the ones that you suggested and see how it goes. I do eat rice, beans, oats. Okay, gluten-free oats. I cannot even have gluten-free oats because it's a grain. I had to eliminate all grass foods, grass family foods, all of them. Okay, they cause me inflammation. Okay. If you can eat gluten-free oats, great. And or organic, some people can do this stuff. But you know what? You know that they're changing the food supply when one of my clients who has Asian descent said that she's not able to eat rice anymore. Okay. That tells me something. They're messing with the food. Okay. Oh, you were driving. Okay. No, but there was other people that had seen it twice. So I just thought maybe there was something going on. Okay. In that area. And that's okay. Pink Pearl Fairy says, I do eat Manuka honey for health reasons. I would go easy on that. Again, it's a honey. Okay. And Manuka, if I'm not mistaken, is that honey that comes from the tea tree plants, like meaning that the bees make it from the tea tree oil plants? Because if that's the case, maybe you can, use tea tree something or, in a different form or something like that and not have the honey. So just saying that, or you can do like just little drops of it instead of like a big teaspoon. Okay. Something like that. Just, I don't know, play with it. Okay. Okay. When does spirit like, okay. All right. And so on the collagen peptides thing, I didn't complete my thought process on that. I went into answering questions, so I wanted to tell you why I was taking the collagen peptides. The collagen peptides were to help me recreate my gut lining because it was absolutely destroyed. Okay. I had leaky gut and everything was going back and forth, and it was really screwing with my hormones and screwing with the inflammation and all kinds of stuff. I used to have like gobs of my hair falling out. I had bladder issues. I couldn't even hold my urine. Okay. Like I had to wear those pads and everything. The day that I was in the grocery store and I bent down to get something and I couldn't get up, like literally couldn't get up because the inflammation was so bad. Okay. That was what was going on with me in 2018. Okay. And once I learned about this grain-free, legume-free, sugar-free thing that I had to do, and luckily I could have a little bit of dairy. I couldn't have quinoa yet, but now I can have quinoa because it's not a grain. It's not in the grass family. But I do have to rinse it really well before I cook it. I understand that Costco has quinoa that is extra rinsed, so it's something to look at if quinoa is like something that like you can do, but it might not be a food that you can eat right away if you have inflammation issues, because there is some chemistry on it that, could be, problematic at first. Okay. Um, okay. Yes, I did know it comes from New Zealand. I'm pretty sure though that it's from the tea tree plants, but I could be mistaken about that. But what I would do if I were you, Pink Pearl Fairy, is just scale back on it, because maybe at this time you only need the medicinal effect of the energetics of it rather than the actual physical, honey, so that you can scale back on the sugary part and still get the energetics of the manuka energy. Okay. So you would just only microdose. Okay. Like drops, instead of teaspoons. Okay. Just try it. Okay. Yes, yeah, super. But I will tell you that a lot of things, there's this idea that everything is a damn superfood. Okay. I mean, marketing gets so involved with some of these things. And so I'm not going to say that it's bad, but there is no freaking food that is a cure all for anybody. Okay. Um, I don't do manuka honey because I'm not allowed to have honey right now. So I do other things. So I drink herbal teas that are like, astragalus or ashwagandha, holy basil, other things. And again, not with sugar. Okay. And even so when I use stevia, I'll use it in my tea, and I have, my medical intuitive told me that it's okay, small, coffee tea, okay, that it's all right, meaning that it's not contributing to my inflammation issue. I could probably, like choose even better and like go straight herbal tea all the time, no added, like no additional stevia, monk fruit or anything. But I, this is a diet that I've had to stay on for 3 years. Okay. So I want to make sure that I can eat something. And what's interesting for me is that I can literally go and get French fries and have less inflammation from that than I would, like a tortilla that is made with wheat. Okay. Um, so I just want to tell you like what I've learned over time, but that was for me, right? But I can eat like potato and, sweet potato. I can have tree nuts. Okay. I can have nightshade. So I can have, tomatoes, potatoes, things like that. And I live on a lot of potatoes. I was so thrilled when I could eat quinoa because potatoes are kind of a heavy food. They're like in the ground, they're rooted, and it's great in the winter, but in the summer, it's like, really? And so now I get to eat some quinoa. So I'm super stoked about that. Okay. Okay. Manhattan Mermaid says Manuka honey comes from bees that pollinate the Leptospermum scoparium, or the Manuka bush, which grows predominantly in New Zealand and also in Australia. But I do wonder if it's related to tea tree. Yeah. Because okay, and then Manhattan Mermaid says a superfood can be horrible for you. My friend was using maca, MACA, for hormonal reasons, including hair loss, and then had a huge reaction to it, that she thought she had bed bugs because her skin was raging, and then even got rid of her bed. Her medical practitioner found out that she was just allergic to maca, and once she stopped, her skin improved. Exactly. Nothing is a superfood. There is always a chance that we are allergic to something that is even super good for us. Like, look at my case. Even organic, grown in the USA grain, like grains are absolute poison for me at this time. Now, maybe that won't always be the case, but I can't take a chance with that. Okay. So I'm going to stay away, and I'm going to eat only what I can. Now, it's been 3.5 years now that I've been on my diet, and I lost all the weight. And I still have a little bit of inflammation issues, but I'm still working on some of those types of things. But I have control of my bladder back. Okay. So I don't have, that issue going on anymore. My hair came back. My skin is improved because I was getting psoriasis and rashes and all of those types of things too. My skin was not in good condition. But my hair, like, I mean, it would fall out in handfuls. I would get headaches like for 3 days during my menstrual cycle. Then I would still get residual headaches even when I was menopausal. So I haven't had headaches for a really long time, and like, knock on wood, right? For that. So, okay, let me see here. Okay, Lila says I have to go. Thank you so much. Thank you for popping on. I hope that that's really good. And I'm looking for my friend to see if she's on right now. Julie, if you're on and you're just not in the chat, 5 months. Now, I put it in the beginning of the video, but I'm going to tell you 5 months, okay, for what your question was, okay? Julie, 5 months. Okay, actually, I'm going to type, in case you're watching it, I'm going to type it in. Okay, and then I will highlight it so that you can actually see it. 5 months for your cabin and land, okay? So, awesome. Okay, so Pink Pearl Fairy says, wow, I've been having brain fog, weakness, just started having a rash under my arms, other things. I thought I was allergic to the clothes, colors, or fibro, which I have. Oh, okay, I thought that you were still typing. Never mind. Let me read that again. Brain fog, weakness, just started having a rash on my arms and other things. I thought it was an allergy to clothes, colors, or fibro, which I have. Oh, meaning that you have the condition that is notated as fibromyalgia. And I actually had a diagnosis similar to fibromyalgia. I have fibrositis, and the difference is that it's localized, and for me it's in my upper back and my neck, my shoulders. But people with fibromyalgia, like, it's everywhere, right? A lot of my symptoms have disappeared after I got rid of the inflammatory foods. Not going to lie. You just have to know what your inflammatory foods are. And it's not necessarily common sense, and it's not necessarily like what we think is going to be what it is, okay? So here I am thinking that grains and legumes are super healthy, right? I mean, there was times in my life that I went vegan and, vegetarian, but I could only get like 8 months, and I would get sicker and sicker and sicker, and I can't do it. And I realize now why. Because I am allergic to grains and legumes, and it's the very basis of a vegan diet. So, okay. So I think I'm caught up with everything. Let me I'm going to scroll back just to make sure that I got everything here. Okay. Yeah, it looks really good. So, okay. So I'm going to keep watching the comments. Hopefully my friend will pop in. That'll be great. But if not, that's fine. So I wanted to tell you guys about my readings, because I definitely still do readings. I don't only do timing. That is definitely something that I do that other people don't do, though, or do very well. Now, the people that do timing really well are usually horary astrologers. Okay. If you guys ever need a horary astrologer, like, because it's super important that you get the date right and all of the stuff, okay, I will be happy to refer you to a horary astrologer with that technique, because it is very technical, and you need training for it. It's not just regular old astrology. I mean, it is a very specific application of astrology. Okay. It's not cheap though. Okay. So you only want to save it for very, very, very important things for you. But if you have general timing questions because you're really psychic and you just want to know, like, what's going on, I have a service and I have it on Patreon because it's a great way to deliver it to you, the customer. And what it is that you guys can write me either once a week for 33 bucks, which is 4 times that you get a reading from me for $33. That's a steal. Okay. Or you can pay $77 and get advice from me 3 times a week, which is basically 12 readings a month. Okay. On timing. And just like you guys are typing in the chat right now, I can tell you these things like at that time. Then you don't have to catch me live. Okay. And I'm still going to do free readings online. Okay. For people, because I'm doing it kind of as a wider service. And a lot of it is to just bring awareness to the psychic community as a whole that timing is possible, because many people don't know that timing is possible. Okay. And I can't guarantee it, but I can tell you that a lot of times that it's more accurate than the weather. Okay. Weather reports, in my experience, are only about 50-50 at best, right? I can sometimes get it in the high 80s, 90 percentile. Okay. But because there is that chance of another energetic interfering with things, I cannot guarantee, but I can give you a really good feeling. And also, a lot of times when I work with you, you can solidify an energy and actually make it stronger after you learn about it and then you put it into motion. Okay. So there's that also. Tarot and oracles, I have, okay, so I shared these with you guys before. I have had, the tarot cards. I'm going to pull one of the other tarot cards here from my other deck. Okay, so some of you are moving away from a painful situation, okay, and moving on to better things. Okay, see the back, how it's all dark and murky and icky, and you've passed the veil and you're sailing on to better waters. Okay. So that makes sense to me because we have been going through kind of a dark night of the soul, like as Venus has been in the below the horizon or in the underworld, as she is said to be right now. Okay. I have, oh yeah, I was going to share you. Okay. So let me see if I can pull this out without wrecking the camera. Okay. So you'll see that I have this very, very beat up, like, I mean, look at this thing. It's falling apart, right? But it's out of print. Okay. And so sometimes for some of you, I will be using the Pendulum workbook. So in my readings, okay, so this isn't for the timing readings, but in my readings that I give to people, I will use this Pendulum book when it's not timing. So there's other things I can answer with the Pendulum. Okay. So I'll give you an example of some of these things. Okay. There are like life questions. Okay. Like I'll just show you like some of this stuff, right? It's, okay. I'll show you this page first. Okay. So life questions, they say things like, what virtues do I need to develop? And then you can hold a pendulum to it and it has good behavior, gratitude, caution, dignity, courage, like themes for your life. Okay. There are other kind of questions that are like destiny question. How does this event blank end? Okay. Like whatever the event is, you name it. Okay. How does this event end? And and it'll give you options like neutral course. Okay. So like no change, right? Success, failure, pleasure, friction, or disappointment. Okay. So you can even ask, like, what shall I do in the case of, and then you can name it: dare more, dare less, wait, take initiative, take less initiative, hold out, adopt, adapt, maybe, fend off, decide, or be very patient. Okay. So there's even like really specific kinds of readings that you can do with this. Okay. For those of you who like do past life work, there's like, what were you in your last incarnation and how did you die and like all kinds of things like that. Okay. Now, I do a little bit of past life work, but I tend not to dwell on it too much. I try to stay really focused in this lifetime because I think that that's where the actual power is. But there are times that past lives can like come in and color and help me see a pattern that is happening. Okay, Pink Pearl Fairy says, I can't wait to try this. If it would help me get rid of some of these things, I am ready to do it. I've been trying to be vegan and I've been vegetarian for many years. Yeah. So I've tried it. It does not work with me. But if you can make it work, then go ahead and do that. Now, on the note of like vegetarian, so I know that some people have like say like that they have dairy allergies but not egg allergies because eggs come from chickens, right? And dairy comes from cows. Okay. So some people are allergic to the cow things and not the chicken things. And then some people are or the vice versa. And then some people can't do either one, right? So again, I think that and then also like let's say that you can get your eggs from a neighbor that you trust and you see the chickens outside like eating and you know that she only puts organic non-sprayed food out and they free range and I think that that would be a beautiful way to get eggs. um Also, they have in some states they allow you to get raw milk purchases or raw cheese and types of things like that where the enzymes are still there. So you'll want to be careful and make sure that you consume it before it becomes problematic. Okay, so do that intelligently. Okay, there's a reason that we have pasteurization of milk. Okay, but I know that this homogenization and some of those things can also make the milk like a bit of a problem. So it depends on the person. Okay, some of us can handle like a little bit of that, and some of us can't. Okay, so I even have like color charts. I have diagnostic tables. I have like physical causes of illness, psychic causes of illness. There's just a lot of stuff in this book and I love it. And here is one of my favorite charts right here. And there's actually two charts. So I have to see which one it is. And this one is called the right therapy. Okay. So when some of you ask me like, hey, Lise, I have this health issue and I need help with it and I'm not able to help, sometimes I can tell you what type of help to get. So whether it's a physical therapy or whether it's sound healing or whether it's aromatherapy or acupuncture or cranial sacral therapy or gemstone elixirs or hypnosis. Okay, and then there's even a whole page on the next one with a whole bunch of other therapies. Okay, so I have to pendulum and see which page you would need. So this one has like qigong, maybe a dentist, you need to see the dentist. Okay, feng shui, neural therapy, moxibustion, which is moxa is what acupuncturists use. It's a form of artemisia that it's like a mugwort, but like in that they get in their culture, and then they warm the points like where they usually put the acupuncture needles. Sometimes they just use the herb like lit up by itself and warm the area. Okay, reiki, shiatsu, okay, yoga, and then there's like even meridian charts and stuff like that. Oh, we have a question. Okay, hello, sweetie. I have a question. Okay, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, but I'll say Titi Mentia. I'm not sure like how to pronounce that. Mienta. Let's see. Is Jonathan her twin flame? Is Jonathan her twin flame? Okay. It's not answering me. So let me find out, because it might not be where I'm supposed to know. Okay. So sometimes I'm not the reader for that type of thing. Okay. So am I supposed to know, like, meaning Lisa, me, am I supposed to know this? Okay. It says no. So I'm not the person to answer that question. Okay. That has to be a different reader, or that, you just need to find out on your own or something like that. I can't answer that for you. I apologize. Sometimes I get permission and sometimes I don't. Okay. Now, what I can ask is, when will you know the answer to your question? Okay. So when will she know if Jonathan is her twin flame? Because could I ask? Okay, that lets me ask that. Days, weeks, months, years, months. How many months? Okay, it says that you're going to know in 4 months' time whether Jonathan is your twin flame or not. Okay. And I'm not sure what the delay is. Maybe there's some kind of contract that needs to be worked out first. Okay. And that contract is not for my eyes. Okay. For whatever reason. Okay. I hope that that makes sense. And she says, okay. Okay. I hope that that helps you. Okay. Back to my book. Okay. So sometimes I can even, like with nutritional therapy, and even though I am not like necessarily a nutritionist, I am an herbalist and I do have a lot of training in nutrition. But sometimes I can get you on the right path with some questions energetically, and then you can work with your practitioner and say, hey, what about this thing? It came up in, a reading that I had. So I don't like to practice, these types of things, because I am not one of these kinds of practitioners. But I am willing to tell you, hey, ask your practitioner about blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? And then you can ask them questions about that. So also, I have a chakra table. I do use this table quite a bit when I do energy work, and even for myself and other people. I also have a homeopathy one. I am learning homeopathy. It's a tricky little thing. It's because it's in the bridge between emotional body and psychological and physical bodies, where flower essences are really, really like in the ethereal emotional body, and sometimes like even in the spiritual. Like, it's a very high vibrating, flower essences vibrate really high. I like homeopathy because it addresses like physical symptoms that you have, and you can transmute them. Like, for instance, earlier when Lila was on, we talked to her about using Ignacia to help her release the grief that she was storing in her lungs. Okay. She could have used a flower essence for that, but it may have like not had a physical effect on her. So she was able to help like remove that on a physical level through using homeopathy. Okay. So I have flower remedy one here, and probably my most used chart here is the batch flower remedy chart. Okay. So that you guys know what this looks like. Okay. I have an old bottle of what was larch. Let me see if I can get the camera to focus on it. Interesting. Camera's not focusing on it very well. Oh, okay. Maybe I need to hold it at an angle. Okay, so you can see the label. It's batch, and this one is larch. Okay, it's empty now because I already used it, but I can pendulum and see what kind of flower essence that you might need from the batch line, which are available all over the place, Amazon as well as your health food store, and transmute an emotional signature that you're having, and educate that part of your emotional body to get a better result. Okay. And some of this can be like a long term, like training your body to get over an emotional response. Okay. So sometimes you have to take these for a little while. Hearts Love Joe has been on this channel, and I told her to take this, but not Larch. I told her to take Impatience because she was really, really impatient about something, and she's an Aries, which is a fire sign and very impatient. So she needed an impatience dosage for like 4 months times to help her learn how to deal with her feelings of impatience. Like she needed the lessons of the flower for 4 months time. Okay. And then sometimes we periodically need other lessons, and thereby other flowers and things like that. Okay. There's aromatherapy in here. There's Chinese herbs and even Native American healing herbs. Okay. And I'm not a Chinese herbalist, but a couple of times people needed to know about like one of the herbs here. And so I would say, hey, I'm not sure like why this is coming up, but you need to look into, licorice or, euphomia bark. Okay. That's a Chinese herb. That's not an herb that is in the Western system. Native American herbs can be used like in, smoke or smudge or, like other things, like not just tea and things like that. And I do have a tea table. So I just wanted to let you know about that. Okay. And I would say that is like the majority of my work, but I do sometimes use this table here to see if there is an energetic interference, zones of disturbance. Okay. I also, in the past, when I was working with another dowser named Michael Hafler, I was using this water table, okay, to see how many liters were flowing at a certain time and all of those types of things, and what the underground sources were, how deep we had to go, like all kinds of stuff. He's a great dowser, and he is really good at like finding water, and he even has stories about like creating water that wasn't even there, like by doing energy work and also doing some land work to call up the water. And he actually had water come to land that they thought that there was no water available. So that's pretty awesome. Gemstones and minerals, you guys. Like, I mean, there's lots of things in this book. So I use this book all the time. Another one is weather forecasting. So sometimes I'll do that, like if there's an event and it's reliant on weather. Okay. So I thought I would share one of my other toys today, my Pendulum workbook. So anyways, if I don't have any more questions, I will end my stream today. And I haven't seen my friend Julie pop on, but she might be watching and just not able to tell me in the comments that she's watching. So that's totally fine. In fact, let me see if, okay, she says that she's watching. So 5 months. Yeah. So that's great. Okay. Excellent. So she is watching. So I'm going to let all of you guys go. You have a wonderful evening, and I'll catch you on the next stream. I'm going to be figuring out from my calendar, like around my readings and some of my other activities, when the next stream is. So if you want to be notified, make sure you hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit the notification bell, because that is going to show up in your phone, like when I go on, and then that way you can ask me your free timing questions. Okay. I want you all to have a wonderful evening. Good night. Take care. Thank you.